All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Living World of Darkness Mage Venue, or Tales of Magic, or whatever the hell we're calling it today. This is an awakening scene for the Mage Venue, uh, in which we see young Tomi Yamagata sitting on her souped up Akira style bike and waiting very, very patiently for the other racer to arrive. The crowds are full on a pretty traffic light, what's that called? North Conduit Avenue, where for whatever reason today they have set up, this bike race. Um, you know, there are numerous cars that may have already gone down the strip, but for whatever reason, the cops seem distracted or as if there's another event pulling their attention away. Um, so people are racing as they can, you know, and you are noticing back every so often, they have various like gang, members and gang memorabilia, bandanas, flags, various coats and jackets. And Tomi seems to be there, just sort of patiently waiting. Now, I'm going to ask you, dear Tomi, what did you bet on this race?
Let's say $300. Is that a
Okay.
lot to bet? I don't know what a lot to bet is.
For a bike race, no, not really. Generally, a
Okay, well,
couple $1,000s.
well then let's say $3,000 because I am overconfident.
Yes. All right. So while the hold on one sec. So while while the crowd is kind of getting riled up on either side, you see the other racer pull in, and he's riding what looks like this heavily modified Honda Ninja. I think Ninja's a Honda. Hold on one sec. No, I'm sorry, Kawasaki Ninja. It seems to be in all this weird sort of pseudo Dayglow paint. And on the back, there seems to be these two like extension poles that go down to to what looks like a third wheel. It might be like this thing looks really souped up to race. Um, he kind of takes off his helmet. It's a young white guy, and he kind of looks. He looks at the stakes, and he's like, 3 grand, huh? He pulls out the 3 grand. He puts it in the person holding the money's hand, a young girl who seems maybe just 18, like maybe she just turned 18. And he's like, well, how about this? And he opens his like what looks like a small like identification case about that big, and he pulls out what looks like a slip of paper, and he goes, if if I lose, you get my bike. And he slides it, and then everybody's focused on Tomi.
She'll just smirk at him and just snatch up that piece of paper real quick, and she said, I do have an empty space in my garage. Might as well fill it.
He looks at you. Oh, so you aren't going to even the odds? And he smiles.
Man, isn't that a given?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, dude, you win, you get my bike.
And he smirks. It's like, It's gonna be so sad to see such a tiny little girl lose her vehicle. And he kind of...
Oh, you'll be fine. You can get a new bike.
The crowd starts to laugh. And they're like, ooh, his face turns from like a cheerful pseudo smirk to kind of a scowl, and he just puts his helmet on and goes over to the bike. Hold on one sec, I'll grab that. I don't actually know how to give this out.
I think you just copy paste it. I have no idea.
Does he actually want to like sit in the scene and watch? I don't actually care.
Oh, sure.
Fine. Yeah, then link him the scene. Tell him to join in, come in camera dark. It's cool. Intermission. What a show. Intermission.
A clever little quip.
After he puts on his helmet, he goes and sits down, and he starts his bike. You know, you can almost feel the pure just the revs roaring off this thing. I mean, this thing, it looks like, just based on sort of your casual glare, it seems to be souped up with parts from like not only sports bikes, but he seems to have an exhaust system that's almost based on a cruising bike. And the only reason someone would do that is because they believe that the amount of exhaust coming off the engines would not be handled by the typical racing bike pipes, which doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. But for whatever reason, he has it set up this way. And there's
Tomy, of course, is going to be revving right along with him.
Okay. You know, as you begin to, grind the throttle, and you like just you see, the same young girl who's holding the money. Hold on one second. Sorry, so, yeah. So, as you hear, and then the young girl who's holding the money walks up to the front of the street. And you notice that there are, there are cars that seem to be coming on, further down the on-ramp, further down the street, but not, for what looks like a good block or two in either direction. She goes, all right, so I'm going to go from here to the end of the block. It's about a quarter mile, so it's a quarter-mile drag. And then he looks over and goes, how about we go a full mile? And he smiles. You know just by sighting it that a full mile will take you into the path of traffic.
If you think that clunker can make it that far, sure.
He just kind of smirks at you. He's like, all right. He closes down his helmet, and he just kind of tightens his grip on the bike. He seems super focused. You can see his body posture just completely change. It goes from regular sort of douchebag guy on a motorcycle to racing form in about a second. It just turns right on. And the girl has her arms raised. She's like, 3. You hear him start to rev. 2. Starts to rev a little harder. 1. The revs on his bike go completely out. And he's like, go! woo! And he just takes the fuck off. Just, boom! This thing, like, you've seen maybe 2 or 3 bikes that can hit this acceleration speed ever. And you know what they cost. This dude is loaded. And he's definitely out for slips. So yeah, he's definitely the type that him taking this bike off you, you know it's just gonna be like another notch to your belt. Another notch to his belt. You taking this bike off him, maybe a little more humiliation and an extra bike. So as he starts to go, what I want you to roll for me is a dexterity plus drive.
Come on, dice stream, open. Oh, specialty, so my 10s would count as 2.
Yes, they do.
Alright, if I clicked more than 8 times, sorry, that's my fault.
That's fine.
2, what's the difficulty?
Difficulty in this case would be 7.
Okay, so looks like that's 2 successes.
All right, he got 3 to start, so he takes an early lead. He's just like.
Of course, as Tommy takes off, the whole crowd will hear really loud, woohoo! He lurches forward.
Yeah, so as you guys are moving, and you guys seem to be like almost neck and neck, but he's like just in front of you, like by like a second, like, oh, not a full second, but by like, by like a millisecond, like it just, you're trying to squeeze every drop of performance out of your baby, and she's just not quite getting there. She's just like, she's almost there, and you guys basically pass about an eighth of a mile, and you see like, all right, you're about to hit the quarter-mile mark in not too much longer. So what I want you to do is I want you to make me another drive roll, another dex drive roll.
Still 7?
Yep, still 7. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to his 3. So you notice that as he seems to be going, he's just grinding that throttle as absolutely hard as it can go. You can hear just the engine just begging. He's just abusing this engine as he's just like you can hear he's pushing this thing to the absolute red line, but you're starting to pass him. And as you're just edging ever so close to the. Do you really do that?
Yeah, I do that. 100%.
Okay. Roll me a manipulation, intimidation, if any, roll. This may actually have a bonus effect if you roll decently.
Okay. Nah.
All right, so as you go like this, you see his look of concentration just intensify. Like he's definitely like, fuck this, I'm taking this little girl out. And so as you guys pass what would be the normal end of the race, like you were winning by like a hair. Like you right in front of me, just like, and you guys are like kind of dipping back and forth, and you guys start getting to the traffic now, and you guys take just enough time to brake, like just a little bit to avoid like smashing into the first car, but then you guys split to sort of swerve around cars. I'm gonna need you to make me a dex drive roll, and he is going to make one as well. This time difficulty is 8. Oh. All right, so you managed to just, thanks to your bike's superior handling power based on some of the modifications you made to it, you're able to just weave through traffic, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And as he's as he's just sort of being really super careful, like trying not to hit anything because this bike is just, it's geared up to be so fast that it's super easy to lose control. And you guys are now passing what is about the halfway mark. And as you are driving, you can distinctly hear something. It sounds like gunshots. Nope. All right. So basically, you hear a like blam, and you think for a second that your bike may have backfired, but you know the feeling of your bike backfiring. It definitely did not backfire. Are you gonna look back to see if his backfired?
Yeah.
Nope. What you see is him with what looks like to be the biggest, scariest gun you've ever seen in your entire life. And he's aiming it at you while, like, grinding on the throttle, while he's still being super careful not to crash the bike, mind you. And he's trying to take aim, and it's wobbly, but he's firing off. And you notice, like, some of the cars that are in front of you are starting to, like, separate. Like, because they obviously don't want to get hit. Some people are like trying to go faster. People are like getting into like minor fender things, trying to get the hell out of there because they hear these gunshots. So that Dex drive again. Again, difficulty 8, but I'm gonna need you to get at least 2 successes.
Wait. Yeah.
All right. So like as you're trying to weave through traffic, the chaos that he's causing all around you, as all the cars are smashing into one another, and everybody's trying to like desperately like either swerve to get off the road so they can get out of their cars, or people are just stopping so they can duck or whatever. It causes you to like slow down majorly. Like you just cannot get through like all of the traffic chaos that's happening in front of you, and as you almost feel as if something has grabbed you by the collar at this point, and then you look back and you see like he's got a perfect beeline right on the back of your head.
She's going to sort of like smack her bike with one hand, like, oh shit, come on, come on, come on.
You hear the report from the gun as it goes off, and everything starts to slow down. You feel as the shot is flying at you, you have one of those moments of like past life. Yeah, oh, not past life, of like your life sort of flashing before your eyes, and you see like the moments in the orphanage, and you see the moment that you decided that you're moving to America, and you see the old Yakuza gang that you used to hang out with, and you see like all those people who used to like, oh, this is my little sister, yeah, she's great, and then all of a sudden everything just stops. Everything seems frozen. Bike stopped, car stopped. You turn around, you see like the bullet seems to have even stopped.
Yeah, did you leave me, fool?
Everything is completely frozen.
Ken? Did you leave me, fool?
Do I have time to like do anything in this moment? To like look around and...
You are completely free to do whatever you wish. All you know is that everything, as of this exact moment, like everything around you has completely frozen. Up to and including your bike, which you're like, the shit?
Then she's gonna take a second to sort of try to shove the bike along to see if it'll cooperate.
Nope.
Not moving?
Completely frozen in time. Like you're just like, it feels like basically pushing against a brick wall.
And she lets out like a and just like kicks it before taking a moment to look at that bullet, like, eh,
You
and
could you
she's
could very well tell by sort of the angle of the shot. Yeah, a few more seconds, that would have probably taken your head off.
she's definitely gonna like grimace at this visibly, and then with no other obvious options, she's just gonna run.
As she starts to run, like basically as you get like further and further away from the bike, like things start to get like darker. Like you getting like like as you're stepping like further away and you're trying to run, you just notice things getting darker and darker. First it's really subtle at first because it's already nighttime. But then it's like almost like the light is leaving your eyes. It's very hard to see after you take like maybe 10 or so steps trying to get away. It's like almost impossible to see. And you know that you are in the middle of traffic, there are headlights on, you should be able to see.
Yeah, she's very freaked out by this and sort of not sure what to do. So I'm of course afraid of this infinite darkness in a world that's just stopped. She starts kind of creeping back towards the bike.
You notice as she gets back toward the bike, the light starts to sort of go up, but it's not nearly as bright as it was a moment ago. Like
Mhm.
like it seemed like the bike seems safe, but things still seem super cloudy. And you just kind of like you have this moment of like, okay, well I could go back there or what? And you're like, I'm sure the question on your lips right now is, what the hell are my options?
Mhm.
So as Tomi is kind of thinking that and probably about to say that out loud, you notice something slithering by your feet and sort of like worming its way up, and you can sort of feel it moving.
She's gonna yelp and like just start kicking her foot and like stumbling back towards the bike, probably landing against it. Like, what the fuck?
You land against something that feels scaly and breathing.
She's gonna just grin and like slowly turn her head.
You are looking eye to chest with what looks like a very large dragon with different words written in each scale, going all the way up its chest, all the way like across its stomach and down its legs. That's what you can see so far. I mean, I guess if you walked around it, you'd be able to see more. The words are in every language that you've ever known, and quite a few you don't know.
Hmm.
And he's just kind of looking at you.
She jumps backwards and looks at it, and of course the first thing she's like is like, "What the fuck are you? Am I dead?"
He goes, and you notice like his, because this is more of an Asian style dragon, I've decided. So it looks at you and like moves in really close, like you can feel like its breath on your face, and they go, "You smell pretty alive to me. Why would you think you're dead?"
Well, she just like gestures towards the bullet hanging in the air, like,
As you look back there, you see that you are still actually there. Like your physical body is actually sitting there, like on the bike, trying to get away with the like horrified look on your face.
"Oh man, what the fuck? What the fuck?"
I mean, I could unlock time if you want, but I think that's
No,
gonna
no, no,
happen.
no, no, no.
Oh, okay then. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, uh, Mr. Dragon, the dragon son.
It looks at you, raises one eyebrow. Is that racist? And it giggles. Anyway, why are you so afraid of the dark?
I mean, I don't know what's out there, and with everything stopped, it could be like fucking Cthulhu or something, dude.
Cthulhu was banished ages ago. It's not Cthulhu. He just kind of goes, so afraid to just step in.
Are there more dragons out there?
Possibly. I haven't met another one like me, though. I'm special. It smiles.
Am I supposed to go out there? I always heard you were supposed to walk into the light.
He looks at you and he gives you a really raised eyebrow and he's like, do you really think that with your life you would get the lights and the pearly gates?
Oh, come on, dude. I have a bullet in my head. Are you gonna kick me while I'm down?
The bullet's not in your head yet. It's approximately half a meter. Roughly. I mean, honestly, that'd be made up in about 2.4 seconds, but it's not in your head yet. It could be. It's not, though.
I don't want the bullet in my head. And the bullet's in the light. I guess there aren't any bullets in the dark place.
They do learn.
And she just, like, gives him this, like, pathetic, dumb, confused kid look. Like,
He goes.
he just points back towards the dark.
He just kind of looks towards you and goes, would you like me to walk with you?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And in that moment, he kind of, like, materializes down to what looks like a human form, still super draconic looking, but, like, closer to human. And, he's like, come on, then. And he starts walking with you. And as you guys are walking, he's like, so what got you into this mess?
Well, this guy offered a super crazy race, and I mean, I was like, you know, why not? Why not? It would be something neat.
Something neat. So dying is something neat? And it looks at you.
Well, I didn't know I was gonna die.
You're racing incredibly dangerous incredibly dangerous motorcycles against what are effectively criminals. You didn't think this was dangerous?
Well, yeah, it's dangerous, dude, but it's like a thrill. Like, it's good dangerous. This dude wasn't supposed to have a gun.
Wasn't supposed to have a gun. Maybe I should go tell all of those people that they weren't supposed to have swords before they were stabbed. Or the people doing the stabbing, I guess. It just kind of looks at you again. It's walking with you like the whole time as it's getting darker and darker and darker. He stays relatively like light, like you can still see him pretty clearly, but everything else is getting murkier and murkier.
Mm-hmm. And, she'll take the chance and trust this weird dragon hallucination and just follow him.
Does she think it's a hallucination?
She thinks it's something weird. She thinks that this is what happens right before you die. Because, you know.
He looks at her. If you keep backsassing me, you will die. And he smiles. It's like he's reading her mind. Like as she's talking, he's reading her mind.
Sorry, this is just hard to believe. I mean, don't get me wrong, dragons are fucking awesome, but I didn't know they were real.
here's a funny thing for you. You're about to learn about a lot of things that you didn't believe were real. A lot of things. And if the person that was dispatched to fetch you is anywhere around, he will probably help to tell you about some of them. Quite notorious, that one.
Like what else is real, if dragons are real?
And he kind of looks at you and he's like, you really think I'm going to give him all my secrets away in one shot? Come on now.
I guess that wouldn't be very dragony of you.
Exactly. We're supposed to talk in riddles and shit.
Yeah, riddles and shit. So what's your riddle?
Who is this stupid girl about to die on a motorcycle, getting into an illegal race and assuming that the other person wouldn't do illegal things to win? That was me asking you your name.
Tommy. You can read my mind, but you don't know my name?
I've known you since the day you were born. I know way more than your name. I need you to make sure you know your name.
Yeah, I know my name. Tomi Yamagata.
It's all very deep and metaphysical. I'm not going to get into it right now. But I am going to say that, and as you walk now, like, everything is black around you except him. Like, you can see yourself, you can see him, and that's it. I just wanted to see if you would take the first steps into the dark by yourself. Apparently you won't.
I took a few steps. It got a little dim.
He just kind of smirks, and a tongue flicks out. And he goes, you are going to face real darkness. And I'm going to do my best to prepare you for it. But for right now, I offer you this. I'm going to give you a chance to live and to do something with this current sad excuse you call a life.
Not that sad. I have a dog. But I mean, like, thank you. Thank you.
He kind of looks at you. He kind of looks at you and you say, "Oh, I have a dog." He's like, "Oh, you have a dog. Very cute. They're very tasty with ketchup."
Oh, you're not gonna eat my dog, are you?
Not if you don't make me.
Okay, dude. Don't eat Lucky.
He just kind of smirks. I'm not gonna eat your goddamn dog. But here's what I will do. In a moment, I'm going to return you to your bike. And I'm going to show you a world where the blackness is deeper than here. But I'm going to give you the power to change it. For the better. Hopefully. He glares at you.
Yeah, totally.
So you're accepting the deal without knowing the price, and he smirks at you.
Well, I mean, if it'll make the world better, I'd be kind of a dick to say no.
Well, if you make the world better or not is up to you. I would like you to make the world better, and I can give you the tools to do that. But there is a price.
Alright, what's the price?
Everything that you currently know will be changed. All of it. You will know agony and ecstasy beyond what you've ever known now. and you will understand why you matter, but not quite how. A life of confusion and searching for meaning and all that is all very zen. And you, my dear, are not very zen.
Hey, I'm hella zen.
He just kind of narrows his eyes at you.
Oh, okay. Not zen. Not zen.
Tomi, I'm asking you to become, at least for now, a little more than the Hellion who can fix up cars real good. I'm asking you to be an agent of, well, for lack of a less dramatic way to put it, an agent of change and a force for what I hope is good in the world. You think you have the intestinal fortitude for that?
Yeah, dude, bring it on. Bring it on.
He smiles at you and goes, "This was the worst deal you ever made." And he kisses you on the cheek, and at the moment his lips touch your cheek, you're back on the bike, and everything still seems frozen. But, like, as you're looking around, you see everything is a million times clearer. Like, the lights have turned to, like, starbursts. You can actually see, like, the paint on a nearby car is just, like, glowing with, like, little lines that look like energy that are flowing through the car and that are flowing from the engine out into the rest of the vehicle. And then you see, like you look down at your bike and you see how it seems to almost be alive. It has this, like, glowing, like, purring almost motion to it, almost like it's breathing in and of itself. You see that all of the edges of the darkness that are just from, normal nighttime are like a million times crisper and, like, deeper, and even the grass itself seems to almost have like almost a sentience of its own, and seems to just be kind of swaying disregarding everything that's happening around it. As you're watching people, like, sort of looking like they're fleeing from their cars, you can actually see sort of the panic on their faces and the wrinkle lines and every, like, image of, like, their lives flashing before their eyes. And then everything starts to speed up again, very slowly. Everything starts to move. Everything starts to move. And you notice that you haven't quite given your bike the full gas. Like, you've given it just enough to secure your lead, but not quite enough. So what do you do?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
I said it seems like you haven't given the car, like, the bike, like, the full gas. Like, you've given it, like, enough, but not quite everything. So what are you doing now?
Just gonna grip that handle really tight, take one last look back at that bullet, and go, and then just, like.
You're such an asshole. You actually hear in your head, "Oh, please don't make me regret this." And right as he says, "Please don't make me regret this," you take off, and the bullet goes whizzing, like, right across your helmet. Like, you feel the impact, but it's not enough to push you off your bike. You just feel it, like, slamming, like, right almost into the side of your helmet. And then, everything speeds up, and everybody's running away, and everybody's dodging, and you hear like sirens everywhere. But you notice that the way forward is completely blocked. Like, the cars have just made a tangle of everything. And, at this point, the guy has actually gotten off the bike because you can't really go forward anymore, and he seems to be reloading.
Am I back in normal time now?
Yes, you're back in normal time. Everybody's moving. Everybody's running. Uh,
Alright, if I veer to the left, where will that take me?
at this point, veering to the left will take you onto the grass. Veering to the right will take you on normal road, but that's blocked. And, I mean, trying to turn around is probably suicide.
Alright, let's go to the grass.
All right. And as you start to drive onto the grass, you start to hear, like, almost these very tiny little screams as your bike just goes, like, you just as you're like bumping like as best you can. This bike's not really built for off-road, so it's like, it's really, really hard to get it up the hill, but he's firing more and more shots. And then you see someone stand up next to him and just kind of look at him, just pull out like what looks like a revolver and just boom right to the side of the head. And then he just looks at you and just kind of tips a hat. And just kind of, you see him like walk sort of back, like backwards, like back toward the start line.
And, she's gonna like turn the bike so that as if to stop it, so she's gonna be on her side, one foot on the ground, as it just slides back into the grass more, attempting to stop and turn around and find out who the hell that was.
As you look, it's a black guy in what looks like a slightly anachronistic three-piece suit. All black except for a really brilliant white tie. And something seems to be wrong with his eyes, but you can't quite make it out from here.
And she'll actually get off the bike and wheel it back towards them. I'm assuming traffic's still like all jammed and stuff.
No, traffic is fucking hammed up, and you hear sirens coming, but you're not. I mean, you're off the bike now. They couldn't, they wouldn't know it's you unless you say I was in the race, which would be funny.
But I can't get to this guy with the weird eyes.
Oh, you can. He's walking back through the traffic where the traffic is basically partied. You just turn the bike around and go back over to him.
Okay, yeah, I'll totally do that.
Okay. As you start to head back toward him, he hears the revving behind him, and he looks at you. And he pulls out the revolver and looks at you.
Oh, whoa, no. I mean, like, thanks for saving my ass.
He puts away the gun, and he goes, he was interrupting my commute.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You can actually tell that his eyes at this point, like, even though it's dark, you can still see them pretty clearly. Like, the irises of his eyes are stained, like, money green.
And Tomi, being the master of subtlety, is just gonna lean up on her tiptoes and just, like...
He kind of pokes you in the forehead with his finger and pushes you back down. It's uncomfortable when people stare, dear.
Are those tattoos? That's kind of sick, dude.
No, they're not tattoos. I smell, and he looks at you, and you notice his eyes, like, they go a weird gold color for like a second, and then they flash back to green, and it goes, oh, Jesus God, not another one.
What?
Alright. Fuck you too. He kind of looks up in the sky and just goes, fuck you too. My name is Rupert. How are you?
I am in one piece. My skull is not exploded. I think I'm doing pretty awesome.
He nods at your assertion. Very, very astute observation, dear. Very astute. Now, something tells me that you just received a visitation from a strange entity.
There's no dishes in here.
Something that probably tried to scare the shit out of you. Am I correct?
Yeah. I'll wash.
Wait, you're friends with the dragon?
He face palms again.
She gives him the stupidest smile possible, like just...
No, I am not friends with the dragon, but
Huh.
I do know of an entity that probably knew it one time. Come with me. And you notice, like, as he's walking, he's like, this is annoying. And he gets into, like, another car. Just gets into a random car, turns it on, or, like, puts it in drive and goes, here, actually. Writes down something. And, like, sticks his hand out the window.
She'll jog over and snatch the piece of paper. What's this?
It's an address, and it has the word Rupert written on the top, and then there's a phone number underneath. He goes, meet me there in 10 minutes. Make it 20. Traffic's gonna be backed up with the police.
Okay, dude. We'll regroup here and talk about dragons and shit. And then with that, she's just gonna zoom off, not even giving him time to put his hand to his face again.
And he just takes the car. He like drives it on the grass, and he seems to like get off of the road and start heading toward the place. Yeah, it takes you a good 20 minutes easy to get there. You see how it maybe should have taken a little longer, but for whatever reason, like all of the stoplights and stuff were just working your way. And yeah, you got there in about 20 minutes. And he's sitting outside, and as you sort of step off the bike, you can just smell like this really intense smell of like cloves and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And inside you can hear what sounds like this very deep sort of drum and bass music, just boom, 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 coming out of the building. He looks over at you. About time you got here. I did say 20 minutes, didn't I? Overestimating as usual. I'm sorry.
Damn, you got here fast. What's, is that even your car?
No. He shrugs and walks into the club.
She's just like, shit, dude, that's badass, and, like, follows him.
As you walk in, like, the press of bodies into this club are kind of impressive. Like, they managed to pack a lot of people into not a very big space. And as like all these people are in, they're like dancing and doing drugs and smoking and all sorts of stuff. And Rupert just kind of, he doesn't actually lead you, but he seems to kind of be the brightest thing in the room. And you can very easily sort of follow him to where he's going. And then he gets to like a VIP like pole with like a rope. And he just kind of looks at the bouncer, and the bouncer just whoop, very quickly like opens the thing, and he walks in, and another one follows him in. And I'm sorry, another person follows him in, and then he stops for a second, turns around, and goes, "Little Asian one, she's mine." And the guy, as you like come up to the thing, the guy already has it open, and is like, "Go in."
She, like, gives him a thanks, dude, and jogs in.
As you get in, you notice that the press of this particular area is a lot less so. There's probably about 6 or 7 people in here. This is about the size of a pretty tiny bedroom. I would say probably about 500 square feet, if that.
Mm-hmm.
And there seem to just be people sitting around. There's like books on the table. They almost seem like they've been playing D&D with all the like books on the table, and there's like dice out and.
She's going to go and loudly proclaim this, like, oh shit, I didn't know they played D&D here. She's gonna go, look.
You get like 6 of the snarkiest looks you've ever you've ever seen in your entire life. And they're like,
He just keeps grinning.
yeah, it's like, no, we were playing Black Dog games. Thank you very much. Anyway, newbies. And Rupert just kind of looks over. He looks at the person who kind of snarked at you, and she kind of backs off a little. Like, so, little racer girl, I guess. What do we call you?
I am Tommy.
With the anime grin and everything?
Oh yeah, like one side of the mouth going up, just like.
That was in character. That was an in-character question. He's like, with the anime smile and everything.
And she just looks at him and just smirks like, fuck yes. You gotta do the smile. Cheer up, goth kid.
He just kind of looks at you if you say that and is like, no. He gives you the grumpy cat face. Anyway, no. I did feel a distinct pull in your general direction, but I don't think I'm friends with the dragon, as you say. I did feel that someone would be receiving the curse tonight, so I guess you're it.
Nice. I feel special. Thank you for welcoming me with open arms.
A bunch of them just kind of look at you with this, like, scowly face. It's like, oh, don't mind them. They're annoyed. They don't really like new people because more new people means less attention for them. You want to, fuck you, Rupert. Fingers. Anyway.
Tony does giggle at this. She's just like.
Anyway, so which of the traditions do you follow? Have you already seen the Masters or whatever?
I saw a dragon.
Oh Lord, another orphan. Like, a couple of them perk up at that, like, ooh, orphan. You and I, my dear, we're going to have a lot to talk about. He looks at her and goes, how old are you?
20.
He gets out like a marker. He fishes in the pocket, pulls out a marker, walks over to you, takes her hand, draws a little X on the back of your hand, and goes, go get a drink, and we'll begin with the first lessons. And he just kind of smiles.
Really, dude? I go into the magic bar and they won't even serve me.
Liquor licenses.
Then goes back to soda.
Liquor licenses are a thing. Anyway, so basically, yeah, you would go out, get your drink, and as you come back,
a little like curly straw in it that was in her pocket.
And as you sort of come back and sit down, he begins sort of chit-chatting with you about magic. We're going to call the scene there for now. We can do at another point a full scene with regard to either their discussion or follow-up discussions thereof. But I would like to thank everybody who watched. I would like to thank Max for being a fly on the wall, and I would like to thank everyone who played, including Shelby. And you guys have a nice day.